Hey, everybody. On behalf of the 2025 Santa Reunion Planning Committee, I'm here to remind you that there are less than 2 weeks left to register for the reunion and only 3 days left to reserve your room at our discount rate. And I'm here to tell you that this year we are really swinging for the fences in our effort to put on the greatest reunion ever. For years, we've been wanting to take our legendary weekend party to breathtaking Palm Springs, which has long been known as Hollywood's playground. And this year, thanks to the combined efforts of our Inland Empire chapter, as well as our board of directors, we've made it happen. The Doubletree Palm Springs Golf Resort is arguably the most gorgeous venue we've ever found for the reunion. Nearly every room has a panoramic view of acre after acre of sculptured landscapes. Across the splendor of Coachella Valley and the rugged beauty of Chino Canyon to the peaks of surrounding Mount San Jacinto. Our traditional Friday excursion kicks the weekend off by taking full advantage of all this splendor. From the Doubletree, charter buses will whisk us away to the Palm Springs Aerial Tram, which just happens to be the world's largest rotating tram. And a 15-minute ride up through the canyon's peaks and crags will deposit us at Mount San Jacinto State Park, considered by tourists and natives alike to be the most scenic of all 300 California state parks. As it climbs, the tram traverses such rugged wilderness that the entire system had to be built completely by helicopter, and the resulting views are absolutely guaranteed to thrill. Oh, yeah, bring a coat because the temperature at the top is about 40 degrees cooler than the valley, which definitely means all of our Claus friends will be playing in the snow. Consider this my personal challenge to a friendly snowball fight. When we get back to the Doubletree, or for those who stayed behind, there will already be lots going on. We'll have classes and workshops and stuff going on throughout the afternoon. And this year, the vendor fair will be open all 3 days, as well as open to the public. Speaking of which, the 2025 vendor fair will be the largest Claus wear and gear show west of the Mississippi, with nationally recognized craftsmen like Adele's of Hollywood, America's finest Claus outfitters, Capri Boots, creators of fantasy footwear for Disney, Broadway, and the most discriminating Clauses around the world. From Santa Magic and other props to famous belt and boot makers to walking sticks and other accoutrements. From the most popular bookers and agents to tons of other professional services. And did we mention that they'll all be here for 3 days and open to the public? Heck, even if you aren't registered for the reunion, the vendor fair alone will be worth a drive out to Palm Springs on any of the 3 days. We're going to wrap up the first day of a cram-packed weekend with our traditional meet and greet, where we'll welcome all of our guests from around the country and around the world. This year, we're proud and grateful to once again welcome the world's largest photographic behemoth, Cherry Hill Programs, as a sponsor. And they'll have a special presentation for all the assembled meeters and greeters. No spoilers, but I'm sure you'll want to hear about all the gifts and stuff they've arranged for everybody who's attending this year. That will bring Friday to a close, but we're just getting started. Saturday begins with our traditional President's Breakfast, followed by the greatest lineup of workshops and seminars of all time. We have 4 breakout rooms this year for each of 3 time slots. Topics will include everything from the care and feeding of Santa's beard to mastering gig salad and other online bookers, to the fairy dust box and other Santa magic, to the Carlucci way, working as a Claus couple, to Santa Glenn Bailey and his ukulele mafia, to being a most excellent special needs Santa, and getting the most out of working with an agent. This year, there'll even be 4 workshops for Mrs. Claus. We'll even have a once-in-a-lifetime chance to learn what it's like being a Santa down under, with Santa Neil Bauer flying in from Australia to share war stories about the best and worst aspects of being in the red suit during the hottest part of their summer. Be sure to ask Santa Neil about the 6 white boomers which pull his sleigh instead of reindeer. And this year's Senior Santa Symposium is so star-studded that our keynote speaker, Santa Ed Taylor, may have to fight to get a word in edgewise. And no, it's not because this year, for the first time, our panel will include Mrs. Claus. Everyone at the reunion will have an opportunity to submit a question to them in advance, with one or more of these experts responding to each. Around noon, we'll break for a light lunch consisting of an exotic build-your-own sandwich bar. Then we're back at it until the late afternoon. We want you to have plenty of me time for personal reunions with your late arriving Claus friends before we gather back for our traditional semi-formal dinner and a show. This year, the planning committee borrowed a page from the 2022 reunion yearbook, and from dozens of applicants has selected the funniest clean comedian we've ever seen. His credits span a half dozen movies, TV specials from Jimmy Kimmel to Comics Unleashed to The Late Late Show, and his frequent appearances on the legendary Dry Bar comedy series. I won't tell you his name because I don't want you to binge on his work until after the reunion. We know that many of you will stay up late, sitting around the veranda or the patio fireplace or any of the hotel's many cozy squat spots. But please make sure you get a good night's sleep because the main event is Sunday morning. There'll be a non-denominational worship service in the morning, leader and location, TBA. Opening ceremonies will begin around 11. Program and itinerary will be in your registrations packet when you check in. After Pledge of Allegiance and benediction, we'll make our way outside for our traditional group photos, all Clauses, Santas, and Mrs. Clauses. And while we're out, the staff will begin preparing to serve our luncheon on our return. We'll pause before the party gets out of control for our annual final sleigh ride presentation, where we remember those Claus family members who didn't make it all the way around the sun with us in 2024. Then there'll be a video retrospective reminding us all of our unique and historic legacy. As you may or may not know, our reunion is the single thread running through every Claus group or organization, every conference and convention, every school and academy, and that ever-growing universe of support industries, from custom costumers to belt and boot makers to magic and prop shops to reindeer ranchers. And don't forget those companies which provide the modern Christmas community with professional benefits, like a background check from the same outfit serving the Pentagon and the State Department, or the only entertainer's insurance policy in the industry's history to protect against false allegations of abuse or molestation. The vendor fair will continue into its third day for the first time ever, and many of those vendors are donating major raffle prizes this year. Oh yeah, I almost forgot the raffle. The raffle team has been one of the hardest working of all the subcommittees this year, and my understanding is that they've achieved unprecedented results. For the 13th straight year, our grand prize will be a custom Claus or elf outfit from Adele's of Hollywood. Even reunion sponsors Cherry Hill have caught the raffle fever this year. They're not only donating a couple of major gifts, they're also offering free raffle tickets to anyone who stops by their booth. Oh yeah, CHP will also give a free Santa portrait to everyone who stops by their on-site studio. And then there's the Claus Fashion Show. And considering the list of participating vendors, this is going to be one for the history books. Plus, a record 4 different awards presented by the reunion and the board of directors. Plus, our long-awaited keynote address by one of the Christmas industry's best-known influencers, Santa Ed Taylor, aka that Santa Claus guy. Santa Ed is the darling of everyone who produces any type of holiday media. His IMDb page includes countless feature films, streamed movies, television shows, commercials, and what am I forgetting here? Oh yeah, he's also the founder of the worldwide Santa Claus Network, which is only the biggest and best online repository for the recruiting, equipping, and training of professional Santa Clauses. The absolute best gift any Santa or Mrs. Claus could give to themselves to turbocharge their career is a WSCN membership. And maybe, just maybe, we can persuade Santa Ed to donate one of those memberships for our raffle. There is literally so much going on this weekend that I could go on, but hopefully I've whetted your appetite, so I'll just obey the prime directive of showbiz and leave y'all wanting more. Because more is available, provided you act now. Remember, the total cost of the reunion weekend is about the same as 2 or 3 hours in the red suit. My friends, the training alone will be enough to help the reunion pay for itself by Christmas 2025. For more information and to begin your registration, just go to ForbesSantasReunion.com. Just click the link you'll find in the email which brought you here. And from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for supporting the oldest and largest annual gathering in the professional Santa world.